Good morning, everybody. Here we go. It's Friday. You did it. A whole week. We made it through, right? How much easier is it now to just think of the rest of the day? You're almost there. Almost clock out time. Almost kick your shoes up. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? You can have some coffee now and then a cocktail later. There you go, right? Perfect. So this week, if you've been following along, good morning, Tiffany. If you've been following along, you know that we're talking about flow. Hey, good morning, Shelby. We're talking about flow, mind, body, spirit, and things that create that flow. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, Victoria. Oh, the whole gang is here. Hi, Sherry. Get your coffee ready. Everybody got their coffee? Victoria probably has her tea. Good morning, Helen. So we're gonna talk about this keeping this flow. Now here's the thing. Sometimes there's gonna be things that disrupt the flow, and that's what we're gonna kind of talk about. And sometimes you have to kind of hold your boundaries. And so what happens is that creates a bump in the flow. So when we talk about flow, it's different things, right? It's mind flow, body flow, spirit flow. Things that are getting in the way. We obviously want to keep flow going. We've talked about all these things this week, from food to nature, elements, listening to your soul, all of these things. But what happens is there are times when you're going to have to stand up for yourself. There you go, Shelby. Shelby's feeling it. She's like, exactly. There are times, whether it's not intentional on your part, but there are times when spirit will say to you, you need to stand up for yourself. And it's not easy because naturally, by nature, we want to be peacemaking. By nature, we don't want to cause bumps in the road, right? But there are times when you have to stand up for yourself, stand up and hold your boundaries, which feels like it creates a bump. But just trust it will get resolved. I promise it will get resolved one way or the other. But it is about owning yourself and having that integrity with yourself. Good morning, Julie. And it's very difficult, but one of the odd things, like just to give you guys, now you tell me, I don't believe in coincidences, right? I believe that everything happens for a reason or serendipity or whatever, right? But I started to notice on the same network I'm doing my show, someone else is starting a show with also the name Rebel in it, wearing a Rebel shirt, and talking about a sponsor being a coffee company. Now, could be coincidence, could be, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand up for the Rebel. I'm gonna stand up for the coffee because, and it's not that you don't want it to, people share, and it's great if it's helping others, but, we work hard. All of us are working hard for ourselves, right? For your life, for your family, for what you're pulling in. And we just sometimes have to hold boundaries as to what that means for us and what we're willing to do. And, it is that idea of like, wait a second, not okay. And you'll feel that it's not okay. You'll feel that it's not okay. So in your life, maybe at your work, someone's taking advantage of you. That happens a lot. I don't know why I always use work. I think I'm still dealing with PSTD. or I'm just really tapping into how unhappy most of you are at work, right? But you know what I'm saying? They take you advantage. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shelby. Isn't it weird? It's kind of weird. It's like, and like I said, like, how do they not know the station? Like, how does the station itself not go, this feels like it's not right. Like, how does that happen? Anyhow, but like I'm saying, you stand up for yourself. Try not to get too worried or too stressed out about it. Not a big deal. It will work itself out. You know, it really will. But you have to have a voice sometimes. So that voice may feel like it's constricting the flow, but it isn't. Actually, what it will do is the voice will kind of create a hiccup, a bump, and then it will open up. And then it will open up. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of it. That's kind of how we go. So at your own work or at your own place, you know, look at your, you know, what are they doing that is kind of taking advantage of you? Or you're saying, wait a second, you know, I'm doing more work for less money than so-and-so. Like, you know, you're doing more work. Or you know that they're going to keep asking you to do a project because you won't say no. And this is like where, you know, maybe you have to think about, how much is it impacting my life? How much does it feel like it's affecting me? Do I need to stand up for myself? Do I need to kind of have boundaries around it? So just kind of go with that. Trust yourself with it. Trust that the energy flow may have some hiccups. And whatever that is for you, it's about holding your boundaries with it and then saying, how do I make peace? So it's having boundaries, but also being peace-oriented, peace, you know, finding peace within it. And that's kind of what we can each do. You know, I mean, again, how many of you are feeling tested with things around your life or in areas of your life? Are you feeling like, hey, this isn't okay? And are you saying something about it? Or are you kind of just taking it on the chin, so to speak? You know, I do feel that sometimes the universe puts these things in your path just to say, are you going to grow from it? Are you going to have a voice from it? What's going to come out of it? And that will really help. So it is kind of knowing that, right? Kind of saying, all right, here we go. Take a deep breath. We're going to work through it, but we're going to stand up. And so in your life or in your relationships, having that ability to stand up, having that ability to say, this is not okay. And a lot of people will do that. It's weird. There's a lot of passive aggressiveness, I think, that runs around. So you're going through that now and you feel like no one is listening. So Tiffany, if you feel like you're speaking up and no one's listening, maybe try a different tactic. Maybe find out, it's like maybe it takes a little more action. So maybe you're saying something, but there's no, there's nothing that's going to, like, what was the word I'm going to say? Repercussions if they don't listen, right, Tiffany? So maybe it's that you're going through it now and you're speaking up, but there's no repercussions for them not listening. There has to be a stand, I think, or an action that's taken. So, like, let's say you want your husband to pick up his socks. He never picks up his socks. And you really, you know, you say to him, will you just pick up your socks? Pick up your socks and put it in the trash. I mean, in the hamper, put it in the trash. Throw out all the socks. No, put it in the hamper, right? And he's not doing it. He's not doing it. Well, then you leave all of his socks around and he can do his own laundry. And then when he has no socks because you refuse to pick them up, he'll then learn to pick them up, right? I don't know. Just things like that. There has to be a repercussion, like a consequence. Otherwise, right, there's no incentive for them to respond or to listen. There has to be an incentive around it. And there has to be a thing around it. So, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, look at your life and see in your life, okay, so are you just saying stuff? Because if we just kind of keep saying it over and over, we won't really have change. You have to kind of have an action that follows those words, a repercussion, something that will be cause and effect, because that may help them kind of hang on to it and say, yep, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So when you're feeling tested in your life, when you're feeling tested in your circumstances, in your situation, have that courage to say, I got to keep the flow going. I'm going to kind of stand up and let it work itself out. If plan A and plan B don't work, there's 25 other ways. Exactly, Shelby. Yeah, it just could be, how do you have to rethink something? How do you have to look at something? And how is it to do it? But when it comes from a place of maybe love rather than kind of anger or hate. When it comes from a place of love, I think it will be easier to kind of work things out. You know, be easier to, it's just when we get so emotional about something that it just puts too much restraint. It really blocks that flow way too much. So when we can kind of open up about things, when we can kind of work from a place of love and understanding, like, let me understand, but I'm still going to hold my place here. I'm still going to hold what is fair and what is the right thing to do. It's not easy. Not always easy. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it. But at the end of the day, you're owning your word. At the end of the day, you're having integrity. You're being authentic to you. So if that ruffles someone else's feathers, too bad. I mean, that's on that. I mean, how many people can really own their authenticity? Good morning, Terry. How many people can own, their word? So many people use words when they really mean other words. Like, why are you doing that? Just say what you feel. Say what you're thinking. And have that courage to own who you are. So in these circumstances, when you own it, at the end of the day, you're actually going to feel a lot better because you're being authentic to you. You're being authentic to your core. And yes, you're trying to find it balance and to find understanding and to work with love because you are a loving, compassionate person, right? You are. It's inside of you. But it's also being authentic to you. And we're going to get tested and triggered, and we're going to trigger other people. And I think that's it too. It's not like you can't go through life not triggering people. And you can't go through life not being triggered. Of course we are. That's how we grow. We grow through those triggers. It's, how do you work with it? How do you understand it? Do people kind of have a perception of you, but you love them anyway? Of course, like, that's great, There's no sense in, kind of creating the conflict, but it is about using your word to hold your boundaries in your life. Again, once you do that, I think it just really helps things, really helps you feel so fundamentally good in your core. And that's what helps keeps that flow going. That's what helps motivate that flow. That's what helps kind of keep that mojo running. And that's what you want to do, own who you are. Own who you are. Oh, good morning, everybody. So there you go. It's a short one today, just tapping in, letting you know. It's Friday, right? Hope you guys have a great, great weekend. Do something fun outside. Look at your boundaries. Is there something you need to do? Look at your flow. Maybe go back and watch the videos. As you know, they're on YouTube. So if you missed one, you can always go back and see them. I try to upload them, but I got to tell you, first dibs is right here. It always takes me a little while to upload them, right? And just have a moment this weekend to look at yourself and say, where am I going? What am I doing? And is my flow, is my chi good? Is my chi flowing? Exactly, right? So have a fabulous, fabulous weekend, and I'll see you Monday, all right? Talk to you later. Bye.